All right, Joel and I are on a very, very rough Lake Pontchartrain. Winds are supposed to be calm today, but you know, it doesn't take a whole lot of wind to make this place really choppy. So we had a rough boat ride out, but we're here at the Lake Pontchartrain trestle, east side of the lake. Fishing here has been really good. If you saw my last video, went with 3 buddies, caught a good number of fish, didn't whack them, but certainly enough to bring us back. We had some really nice fish as well. So Joel's got a rare day off of school and work, so we come out here real close to home just to see what we can catch. We may end up having to run all the way back north to get out of this wind, but we're gonna try and fish down here at the southern end. Got a good falling tide this morning. Feel really good about this south side with that falling tide, but we'll see. All right, I got an avocado colored matrix tied on. This is what was a hot bait the other day. Of course, it was really cloudy. Don't have a lot of confidence in this color with these conditions, but I'm gonna start with it. Joel's throwing, I think, a holy jolly, huh? His namesake bait he designed. This color water, that's normally my favorite bait out here, so it won't take much for me to switch. But it's really, really rough. We may end up having to go up north. The good thing about this situation, though, is it cuts down on the competition. Not a lot of people fishing in these conditions. I'm sure up north it's gonna be really crowded. Oh, fish on? Good one? All right, Joel's got a fish on the holy jolly. Take your time, take your time. Don't forget you got 12-pound fluoro on.
I think it's a drum or something.
Could be a drum.
There he is. Is that a red? No, it's a drum.
It's a drum? Yeah. All right, our first trout of the day is a black drum. I'm not even sure it's a legal drum. It's a start. It's an icebreaker. Woo! Took a wave over the transom. Put him on the tape. I think he might be 16. No, yeah, he's 16. Yeah, he's a keeper. It's the best eating fish we'll catch today. All right, we definitely got a good falling tide. It's tough to get down. I got this 5/16 on. Joel, you fishing a 3/8? Yeah. I'm gonna have to switch out of this. Of course, I'm fishing my matrix on a death grip jig head. Would never use anything else. Now, there's a style of fishing that is not for everybody, but I love it. You really got to outsmart these fish. You got to figure out what they're doing every day, and it's always something different. And a lot of times the bites are just really subtle. Good equipment is so important for doing this. Some days it isn't. Some days they're just attacking the baits, but that's the exception more than the rule. You got to be able to feel just those subtle ticks. All right, I just didn't have any confidence in that avocado, even though it was a hot bait the other day. We got very different conditions today. So I switched over to a high confidence color for me, shrimp creole. The only bait I'd rather throw than this is holy jolly, but Joel's already throwing it, so I don't want to throw the same thing. I also made the switch from a 5/16 to a 3/8. So we got a pretty good current rolling through here. And we're fishing on the west side of the bridge with a falling tide. So we're really fishing against this current. Tougher to stay on the bottom, and staying on the bottom usually is the key out here.
So you'd rather eat a drum than a trout?
Oh yeah, 16-inch drum like that, 16.5-inch drum, definitely. It'll be very, very tasty. You think we should duck under and go fish the other side?
Yeah.
Why don't you pick a, look, that's a wide one right there if you want to go through that one. Keep on doing what you're doing, you're gonna keep on getting what you're getting. What's he doing? Is he leaving?
Got the bow pointed the other way.
Sure, that looks like Chaz, huh? It's a scooped up front like a panga. That could be Chaz. Come on, Joel, let's catch a damn trout. That's how this place is, man. Nothing, 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 and you can find a stretch. It's got, there we go. There we go. Fish on, fish on. Oh, that's a good trout. That's a good trout. All right. Shrimp Creole does it again.
Uh-oh.
Fish on? Get him, Joel. That's a keeper. There we go. Good fish, Joel.
All right. What were you just saying? That's how this place is? Nothing, nothing, nothing.
Nothing, 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 and then you find them.
There you go.
All right.
Feel your fish hit?
Nope, he was just there. Went to bump it and it was solid. It's rough, but it's doable.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
It's a beautiful day. Certainly rather this than August.
This episode of Marshman Masson is brought to you by Puglia Sporting Goods.
He's gonna be Chaz. Oh, there we go. He's got one. He's got one. There's Chaz. Chaz Champagne up ahead. Just caught a trout. Oh, shit.
You don't have one?
I had him hooked up for a second, but I missed him.
I can't imagine having a hand control.
There he is. There he is, Joel. Good fish. Look at this fish. That's a good trout, bro. That's a good trout. All right, don't bust my line. This water temp right now is 69 degrees, and these fish are definitely acting like it. It's about a 19-inch trout, I'd say. And he's got a bloody face. Going bananas with this bait. Chaz got one. Chaz is hooked up. I guess I'll keep him. Shrimp Creole matrix shad. One of my favorite clear water colors on a 3/8 ounce death grip jig head. And I'll tell you this, if you plan on coming out here to do this anytime soon, and I definitely recommend you do, get some good quality 12-pound fluorocarbon. Even if you like fishing braid like me, you want to, oh shoot, you want to fish that fluorocarbon leader. On my last trip out here with 3 buddies, I had 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, and they were killing me. Literally 5 or 6 bites to one. You got him? Joel's got a fish. Nice fish, Joel. Is that gorgeous or what? All right. It's so pretty seeing them in that water, you know. You could probably even, you broke you off? Yeah. You could probably even get by with 10-pound fluoro. The lighter the better. But of course, then you have issues like that with the fish breaking off. Fortunately, that one broke off in the boat. Joel fishes fluoro mainline, but I love my braid. I like the no stretch aspect of the braid. I can't fish fluoro or mono mainline. Just don't like it. Too spongy. But this style of fishing is just a blast. It is so much fun. You don't come out here to catch limits, although it does occasionally happen. You come out here to test your skills and potentially catch some big fish. I know Chaz has caught some 5-pounders along this bridge in recent weeks, and that's a big fish in Louisiana these days. Did you feel him or what? I felt mine.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sometimes you just know. You love it.
Top 3, maybe top 2.
Top 2 what?
Places that I like to fish.
Yeah, Venice bass fishing's got to be high up there now.
Like this is just
I know, I love this style of fishing. I love it.
you know, any catch you catch a 4-pounder.
Definitely. 5-pounder. All right, this is one of the problems with fishing the trestles. The boats are lining up here on this east side of the bridge, and one of them is Chaz, because he just motored back around and went north of us. Not a guy you want to follow fishing this bridge. He fishes it every chance he gets. It's like a vacuum cleaner, but I think it's our only play at this point. We reached the end. This is what's called South Point, and definitely the best action was up there where all those boats are collecting now. Are you just basically letting the wind push us?
Yeah, I don't have to motor on.
Good, okay. I gotta shed this coat, it's getting hot. There he is, there he is. That fish hid and missed it. Came back and got it. Just such pretty solid trout. Look at that looks like a Florida trout. Look at the spots.
Yeah.
It's a pretty trout.
Is he off or on?
Halfway. That 12-pound leader is the difference, I promise you.
Yeah.
That's incredible. 20-pound fluoro is just too thick.
Where are we fishing at? Yeah, you had 12 the other day. I'm surprised you didn't switch earlier.
Yeah, I should have. I just refused to believe that was the issue. There he is. Oh, that's a good fish, Joel. Oh, he's foul hooked. No, I don't think you need to net him. Right in the belly. You had one?
Chest. He's pooping out.
Yeah, he's losing his guts. Comes the train. See if that shuts him down. It's calming down. Not as rough.
This episode of Marshman Masson is brought to you by H&H Lure Company and by Versamax Corks and by Cito New Orleans and by Delta Marina and by Plaquemines Parish.
And as you can tell, everybody's got their own unique style of deep jigging. Joel likes to do kind of that triple pop, which he's not doing at the moment. And that works well for him because he fishes fluoro and mono, mostly fluoro these days. So it's got more stretch than this braid. It would not work well at all for me. So I just kind of pick my bait up and put it down. Pick it up and put it down. And I really, really like to maintain contact with my bait as it's falling. Sometimes that's not effective. Sometimes you just have to let it free fall, and that's when they'll hit it. But I get so many of those bites maintaining contact with the bait as it's free fall, or not really free falling, but just falling. And I fish with my rod high, and I set the hook back here, which is effective because I fish braid, so there's no stretch. You don't need a very far movement of that rod tip to bury the hook. Also fish medium heavy rods with fast tips, so there's not a whole lot of give. Sometimes it does cost you fish when they're kind of short striking. They'll come up to the surface and throw the bait because your rod doesn't have a whole lot of give, but I'll take that for the sensitivity. Oh, can we go? Never mind, it came off. There he is. The best eater of the day. Joel missed his. I think the best eater. It might be the first release. Nah, I think he's 12. I don't think he's 13. Let's see. He is 12. He's about 12 and a quarter. I'll eat him. I'll give you that 20-incher. It tastes like a pogie. Now we're fishing on a day with not a big tide range. It's only about a half foot today. But if you come out here and this tide is really rolling through these bridge pilings, you want to get much tighter to the bridge, make shorter casts, and spend much more time with your jig falling right next to those bridge pilings. Yeah, you probably throw a ½ ounce even. This is a 3/8 ounce, but you want to get down for sure. And when that tide's rolling, those fish will tuck in real tight to the pilings for obvious reasons. They're just sitting there and ambushing bait as it's coming through. When you get a weaker tide like this, they just kind of scatter out. They're still roughly associating with the bridge, but they're not clinging to it. And the location of our bites today has been totally random. I mean, some are right up on the bridge, some are almost to the boat. And it definitely appears that they're running in groups. Joel and I have had a couple of doubles, but it's really probably not enough to just spot lock the motor and sit in one area and just sink the boat. We're just continuing with our drift. Along with these other 4 or 5 boats, we're all doing the same thing, just drifting through, getting to South Point, motoring back, and coming and doing the drift again. Probably doing about a 300-yard stretch of this bridge. And all that wind we had this morning, the forecast was that it was gonna die, and believe it or not, the forecast is proving correct. Hasn't died yet, but it's a whole lot calmer than it was. For a while, we could barely stand up, but No trouble standing up now. Oh. Yep. There he is. Oh, shit. He hit it again. There he is. He came back. He was way out. There he is. There he is. Joel, I got more shrimp creole. This fish is fighting really weird. He's just not that big. Dude, I could have gotten you one. I know what it's like running a trolling motor. What you got there, Joel?
Oh my God, it's not a trout.
It's not a trout?
No. Looks weird.
Drum, you think? It could be a foul hook trout.
Yeah, that's probably.
That's what it's feeling like?
It's not coming up or anything. It's not solid.
What is it?
It's a drum.
Keeper drum, you think?
Keeper drum, yeah.
Man, you got the drum figured out. Here you go.
It's a keeper.
I think he's a keeper, pretty sure. Those black drum don't have the same glamour as speckled trout, but they're really a nice bycatch here. They're very, very good to eat. Actually, even better than redfish. Particularly when you get these ones like Joel's catching, these little 16.5 inchers. Believe me, as far as eating goes, I'd much rather a 16.5 inch black drum than a 16.5 inch speckled trout. It's not even close. Oh, you fricker. There he is, he came back. Dude, it happened so many times the other day. When you get a hit, set the hook, miss it, and come right back. I don't know if it's the same fish or a different fish, it gets inspired. Big trout. But dude, look how deep this fish took it. I mean, that's a good sign. You got him, Joel? Feels like a decent fish. He didn't come up at all.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
What, you got another drum?
No, nice
Nope,
trout.
speckled trout. Good fish, Joel. Here, I'll get him. I'm already dirty.
Yeah, let's get the boat back up there now.
Tide's actually picking up, Joel. Look at it.
What is that on 11?
Yeah, I wonder.
He's on topic for.
There we go. There's a fish. Small keeper. Catch them all sizes here on the trestles. Haven't caught a throwback yet, but they definitely have them out here. This fish is 12 3/4. Now this is very common. What happens, there's all kind of boats now here fishing this stretch that we're fishing, and that definitely dissuades those bigger fish from biting. I don't know if they just shut down and don't feed, or if they skedaddle. You can catch your biggest fish when there's not a whole lot of boat traffic here. Once it gets to be a bunch of boat traffic, the big fish shut down. There we go, there's another one. That feels like a better fish. Might be a drum. He's acting weird. Could be a foul hook trout, we'll see. Yeah, he's acting really weird. Foul hook trout. Yeah, he is. He's follow hooked. Right around the gill area. Gorgeous. Look how pretty he is in that water. Sorry, dude. Got a little too close to that death grip. Whew. Right in the fin. What you got, Joel?
Oh, that's a big trout.
Is it? Netter? Oh yeah, he's a big trout. Man, is that gorgeous. Boy, is that a pretty trout. Good fish, bruh. Good fish. How about that net job?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, Joel and I are throwing up a prayer. We've come over to this west side. There's one boat just a little bit north of us, and that's it. Everybody's on the east side. Ooh, look at that. Because this current is just ripping through here. But I don't mind fishing against the current. Just got a definite bite. We'll see if we can get any in the boat. It's tough to get a clear stretch of the bridge nowadays. There he is. There he is, Joel. All right. All right.
Is this the average rod the other day, size-wise?
Yeah, yep. What would you say, 15, 16, something like that?
Yeah.
All right, in certain styles of fishing, cheap equipment is fine. Like if you're the type of guy who typically likes to anchor up, throw corks on a point, and sit there for a while, it's fine. You can use the $20 big box store special and you'll be very happy with it. But for this style of fishing that we did today, you really need good equipment. And you've heard me say it before, you want to buy the most expensive rod you can afford. Rod to me is much more important than a reel. If I'm going to invest, it's going to be in a rod. You just need that good equipment to feel those subtle strikes, and a lot of the strikes you get here are extremely subtle. Just a little slight tick, not those hard taps that we all really love. Some days it's like that, but a lot of days it isn't. So what I use today is my Lew's Pro TI. It's a very, very high-end rod. You don't necessarily need something this good, but it certainly helps me to catch more fish than I would if I was using lesser equipment. I know that. The reel is also a Lew's Pro TI, very good reel as well, but again, if I was going to invest, it would be in that rod rather than that reel. And spooled on this reel, I got 30-pound J braid, the Iowa J braid. It's just the type of braid that I like. If you have your favorite, it doesn't really matter. But the key, I'm telling you, fishing out here, this water is so clear, was this 12-pound fluoro leader. Probably could have gone down to even 10-pound. The problem with that is with this non-stretch braid, when you set that hook, particularly with this medium heavy powered rod with a fast tip, a lot of times that shock will break that fluorocarbon leader. Didn't have any break-offs today at all with this 12-pound. That makes me very happy. That's kind of the bad thing with using that light fluoro. I've had so many break-offs that have cost me fish over the years. Just didn't happen today. It happens more to me when I'm bass fishing because I don't have as much line out. I'm real close to the boat. Got that hard hook set, and that shock just breaks that leader. Not as big of a deal when you got more line out. So man, Joel and I had an absolute blast today. It's still very early, maybe about 8:30 or so, but we've caught many, many fish. We got a chest full. That's enough. There's a lot of boats still fishing this bridge. We've got plenty. We're gonna head out. We got just a little bit of a run over to Bayou Liberty to where we launched. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you be notified whenever we post a new video. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.